Hello, in this short video I will give you a couple of reasons to the non-existence of God, or a couple of reasons why God doesn't exist. The first reason why God doesn't exist is because of the fact that God is perfect, so he would have never created such an imperfect world. The second reason why God doesn't exist is because God would have never created the human beings that are capable to do sins and crimes and evil. Um, and we can ask the question why God created the human beings from the beginning. If he wanted to put them into test, then he could have created creatures that are perfect and would have never do crimes and sins and evil, and you will never have to put anyone into test, because God is all power, omnipotent, and he could do anything that he wants to do. And we should also remember that God knows what will happen in the future. So God knew that the human beings will do sins and crimes and evil, so why he created them from the beginning? As I already said, he could have created perfect creatures that would have never do evil and sins and crimes and so on. So from that we can deduce that God didn't create the human beings, and from that God didn't created the human being, we can deduce that God doesn't exist at all. The third reason why God doesn't exist is that God would have never created such a reality in which there is so much human suffering, so much pain, so much violence, so much deaths, so much murders, and so much diseases, and so much poverty and hunger, and so much nature disasters like earthquakes, floods, and hurricanes. So from that reason we can say that God didn't created this world, and therefore God doesn't exist. The fourth reason why God doesn't exist is that God would have never created such a reality in which that the very existence of the predator is dependent in his ability to kill the prey. The very existence of the lion is dependent in his ability to kill the lamb, the deer, or other animals. So such cruelty, such injustice would have never been created by God. Okay, and the fifth reason why God doesn't exist is that there is three monotheistic religions. Monotheistic is defined as a belief in one God or the oneness of God, and those three monotheistic religions contradict each other in the description of how God created the world. And they also don't have the same God. The God of the Judaism is not the same God as of the Christianity or the Islam. So because of those contradictions and differences in the gods, we can say that none of those religions are true. All of them are fake, all of them are false, and they actually were created by the human beings. And God also was created by the human beings, and from that reason he doesn't exist. The sixth and the last reason why God doesn't exist is a logic reason. We can say that an entity or a being that is all power or that is omnipotent is impossible to exist, and I will explain you why. Because we can ask a simple question: if God is able to create such a big stone that he himself cannot lift, if the answer to that question is positive, then we can say that there is something that God is not able to do. He is not able to lift the stone that he himself created. From that reason, he is not all power, he is not omnipotent. And if the answer to that question is negative, then we can also say that God is not able to create such a big stone that he himself cannot lift. So we can say that we can conclude the same conclusion, that God is not all power, God is not omnipotent. And from that example, we can conclude, we can deduce that there is no such being, there is no such entity that is all power. There is no such being that is omnipotent. And from that reason, God, that is all power, doesn't exist. So those were all the reasons for the non-existence of God. Okay, thank you very much.